Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of NC-17. My name is Josh, and with us we have an amazing actress. I'm not going to pronounce her last name because, well, I'm not that guy. So we have Cara with us. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing quite well. How are you?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. Uh, so before we get into how we kind of met each other, interacted, and stuff like that, kind of take us back a little bit to when you were a child. What was your first memory of like the very first movie you seen that you can remember, and what really got you to want to be in movies?
Well, I'm trying to think of even just the first movie I remember. I'm not even sure if I remember like what I remember as my first movie, but I do remember just being really struck by like the original Goonies with the octopus in it, which you can no longer find, and and like these fairy tale movies that were done at like I think throughout like the 70s and 80s that they were just like the costumes were very ornate and the sets were, but it was kind of like more like a theatrical point of view almost.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Uh, so being in, enthralled with the fantasy aspect of movies and stuff like that, going further into your teens and just all the way up until till now, does that still play a factor in the kind of movie you like, or because I can tell you the movie that you're involved with, not fantasy.
Yeah, no. I have gone through periods of my life of enjoying like every different genre. You know, I think that there's good movies in every single genre. It's just a matter of finding them. Like, yes, I would say that for the most part, my tastes are I just want to be entertained after a long day. And if I wanted to feel like I was going to get slaughtered, I'd just go live my real life, right?
True. That's everybody right now.
Yeah. But I mean, it's yes, I like the aspect of entertainment regardless of what form it comes in, as long as it's good. And we all have different things that I think we define as like good or our perspective of entertaining. But I think that if you shorten yourself to only liking one genre, you're going to miss a lot of good stuff.
Exactly, exactly. I actually agree. I mean, like horror is my favorite genre, but people ask me, like outside of horror, what do you like? I was like, as long I agree, as long as I'm entertained, I'm happy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Uh, so kind of take us into your junior high and high school years. Was there any theater play? Was you like cast in any plays, or did you just kind of stay behind the scenes and just continued your love of movies?
So I definitely had a love for movies, but like junior high and my teenage years, I would say it was only from the perspective of like the movies I was watching. I remember as a kid, I actually used to put on plays in my backyard with my sister and other kids in the neighborhood. And then I just lost that as I grew up, I guess. I never really got involved in any theater. I had never even acted until 2024, which was when I got my first theater experience.
Uh, so so let's go into 2024. And you're getting your first, doing your first auditions for the theater and kind of like getting the parts and stuff like that. Was you nervous, or was it kind of like you're going in there with a determined mind and you're going to get it no matter what?
Well, it was a really unique experience because I actually took my dad to a play with my sister. We took him for his birthday, which is in November. So it was a Christmas play. It had just opened up. And I was sitting there, I was like, it would be like really fun to do something like this. And then like right as they were starting to play, they're like, tomorrow we're holding auditions for our next play. And so I was like, okay, that would be kind of cool. I think I'm just gonna go try that. And I was definitely kind of nervous going in there. I almost turned around on the drive home because I was like, who's going to give me a part in anything? I have no experience. And I auditioned, like they had us auditioning with multiple people where they'd throw some people together and just see like I think kind of just the chemistry between people. Um, and so I did a couple different takes of the same character with a couple different people. And the last group that we did, it was so good. It felt really right. And even other people who were auditioning were cracking up. So most of us from that group actually ended up getting parts in the play.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So being in that play, that first, because being live in front of a live audience, it's completely different than being in a movie. So, what was that feeling? Your first night opening and everything. Well, walk us through how you were feeling through that whole day.
Okay, so I'd say like I was really nervous before it started, especially going on stage for the first time. It was a British sex farce called Noises Off. I don't know if you've heard of it, but basically everybody ends up in their underwear on stage at some point. Um, so yeah, that I mean, it was just very nerve-wracking in and of itself. It's supposed to be like one of the most complex plays that can be performed. There's a lot going on in it. It's very fast paced. There's a lot of props, like so many sardines. And we lost most of them throughout the showing. And but yeah, it was really nerve-wracking. And then I think like you go through the first scene and you're so nervous when you go on. And after that, it's kind of like the hard part's over because once you get on, like to me, it just seemed like it progressed really fast after that, and it became more fun once I could get out there once. And I feel like that kind of went with every single, we did 9 performances. And so it was kind of like that for every performance. And, I kind of walked away from it even with like, I had to stand on stage in front of strangers in my underwear 9 separate times. That's like most people's nightmare. Like if I can do that, if I can do that, I can probably do just about anything in acting.
Oh yeah. So was the audience, was it a positive reception or was it mixed, or how was the audience's reaction to your guys' play?
So people seem to really like it. We definitely got a lot of laughs. Although here and there, you could tell that there was like an older lady who did not know what she was getting into. And she'd kind of sit there with like a stern face, like, and her arms crossed the whole time. And you're like, well, that's not for everyone. Like, but it was such a fun show to do. I mean, it just like working with people and I thought it was hilarious. Like I actually had to work for weeks to not laugh when people were like saying their lines just because I would be like behind the scenes cracking up the whole time. So that I think that was like the hardest part for me was like being serious on stage when you wanted to laugh.
Oh yeah. uh so take us to your first auditions for a movie. Uh what was that
Well,
like, and kind of just give us your point of view of everything that went into you wanting to audition for the roles that you've auditioned for.
okay, so well, I'm trying to think. It was around the time my first audition that I've ever sent out was actually to you
Yeah.
back in April. And it was actually that same week that I had sent in my audition to you that I actually was an extra on a TV show. So, like, when I was sending the audition into you, I was very nervous, especially because, like, I knew the deadline for having to have it in was approaching. And so I tried to spend time developing the characters, but because I was auditioning for so many different roles, I think that first time around, it was actually hard to like really think about them in depth and like come up with what I felt was a good take on them. So I felt very almost adrift in just trying to figure it out because I had never done anything like that before. And so I feel like yeah, I just felt like very lost in what I was doing
Yeah.
and trying something, but I'm like if I don't try it, like nothing's ever going to happen, like if you don't audition for a part, you're definitely not going to get it. But if
True.
you try and even you don't get it, you at least have experience of like working on the character and developing them. And, I did not get the role initially, as you know. Uh, But when you opened up the auditions again because you had to recast, I was like, now I know what I need to do. Like I felt like going through that first run of it gave me such a better comprehension of what I needed to do the second time around.
Yeah. Uh, so let me tell you from the perspective of mine and Amanda Howell, because like she's been with me from the beginning. She's seen every single audition. So in the beginning, it wasn't nothing about your talent. You're very talented. We want you to know that. Well, at least I want you to know that. She's not here. But the thing is when it's my first experience too, you know. So it wasn't like I was looking for a specific type or I wasn't, it was I wanted to give everybody a chance, you know.
Yeah.
And with yours, because you were auditioning for multiple roles, like you were always up there in the top three, guaranteed for every role you were in, But unfortunately, things went the way they went, which I do apologize about.
No, it's like I said, it was experience that I needed to like tweak it to give a better performance the second time, it was a good experience for me just to learn what I needed to do and not do and what to take with me into every future one that I will end up doing.
Oh yeah, second time around, your second audition, I was floored. Like you said, "Hey, I want to do this. I think I could do this, differently." And when you sent it back, I envisioned literally something completely different for the character. But when you came back with your audition, I told Amanda, I was like, "She's got the role. I don't care. She's got the role." And Amanda agreed. So, you're going to be playing Allison.
Yes.
Uh, so in the character description, kind of what really made you go with the way that you went to in your first and second audition? What did you do different, and what made you really take a bite out of the character? Because it seems like that's what you did.
Well, I feel the first time I kind of went for more of like a nerdy tech route. I know I was wearing glasses in my first audition, and I think I had my hair up and like I'm not even sure I was wearing makeup. Like I just kind of went for more of like a geeky girl vibe. Because she's a tech girl.
Yeah.
And so like I went with like I guess the stereotype of that. Um, and I made it like I mean, I just feel like it wasn't, I don't know if the descriptions were even the same or different, but the first time around, I just don't think I was as confident. Where like when I read the role the second time, it said confident and very like kind, but
Yeah.
like confident, kind and confident. And so that's what I kind of went for, like a little more playful, but like more like assured of herself.
Oh yeah. I mean, in contrast to like beginning, like first audition and second audition, I won't say it's night and day because you did good in both, but the I kind of try to break the typical mode if that makes sense. You know,
Yeah,
and that first one I was like, you had it. It's just I think you kind of put it in that role if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
and then that second one I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, well, I really when I saw like the kind but assured, it kind of made me think, especially because there are like younger people than me, that it's like, she's kind of gonna be like the bigger sister to them that's like a little more protective or something and but still fun. And like I just saw the fun in her this time that I wanted to bring out into the role.
Oh yeah. Uh, I do want to tell you. So since you are playing Allison, the character does have an arc that is different from everyone else because the group, like your character knows the group, but you're kind of still like the outsider.
Yes, I figured as much.
You know? So the
Because
way that it's going, and I don't want to give away too much, but I do want to give you a little bit. The way it's going is kind of like you insert yourself in a semi kind of leader role,
yeah.
So but I don't want to give away too much. But there are certain aspects of this film that will definitely shock the audience. And again, because we have minors and we're being respectful, there is no nudity. There's like all that's out the window, you know.
Yeah. And
But
I'm totally okay with that. Like that's what I kind of like. I'm like, this is like a much more friendly horror movie, you know? Like
yes,
it's gonna be like kind of pleasant killing, right? That's kind of what I joke about with my dad at the murder mystery company. I'm like, yeah, like it's murder, but it's like pleasant murder.
yeah. Uh, so kind of after you got the role, like, and you were cast, kind of walk us through the next couple of days or maybe even a week of like how you started to prepare, because unbeknownst to everyone, the full script is not out there yet.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because we just added some new stuff, so got to go back, do a couple of rewrites, but the script is nearly done. I will say though, there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of twists and turns. I don't want to give away too much, but what was your initial reaction, and have you told your family and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I told like everyone that I care about right away. I'm like, yeah, I got my first role. I'm really excited. I kind of couldn't believe it, but I feel that way like every time I get something, like even when I got the part in the play, I think for the first 2 weeks I was like, I can't believe someone actually gave me a role, you know. But it's like it's like the feeling of like you're dreaming and kind of pinching yourself because it's exciting. It's just very exciting, and I'm trying to really be like contemplative on, who she is and how I want her to be. And I'm just hoping that if you do kill me off, that I get to like sacrifice myself for other people to live or something. I'm like, I could see her doing that. So
Well, I'm not going to spoil nothing, but I will say the third act, like the typically, and you've probably seen a lot of horror movies.
yeah.
So typically, the characters don't get broken down. It's just like, hey, this is well, Nightmare on Elm Street, Nancy got broken down, but
It's
it's like at least the last couple years, movies that are horror haven't broken down the characters. They just, hey, this girl's going to get possessed, and then she's just going to start killing people.
yeah.
So the entire first two acts, I will give everyone an exclusive right now. The first two acts are breaking down a certain character to where it's bare bones. This person cannot and does not have any willpower for anything when certain things start to happen. That third act kicks in, it is batshit crazy from beginning to end of that third act. So, like, yeah. But I will say there are some people, some characters that do actually get to have a little bit of horror. They are a little bit their hero moments. Not so many, but there are some. So let's talk about the cast a little bit, because we have a lot of newer people, but we have a lot of other people who've been in some stuff who are more established. What are your thoughts on the people who have been cast so far? I mean, and have you seen them in anything except for the newer people? I don't think, you know.
I'm not sure if I have. Even the people who are somewhat established, like now that I'm going through things, I'm seeing their name more even just in like things that are being cast for other things. And so it's like I think just like a lack of awareness before where because the names aren't familiar to you, even if you saw them, you wouldn't know unless you go back and you're like, oh, yeah, now I know. Like I feel like that happens even like with movies that I'll see, it's like you see something like 20 years ago and you come back and watch it and you're like, oh my God, there was that person while they were starting their career. And I never would have known it back then because back then I didn't know who they were and IMDb barely existed. And
Oh yeah. uh I do want to say though, like, this cast has been very meticulously put together, mostly because the people who have these characters, who are going to bring these characters to life, I don't see anyone else. And this is not an act on anybody. but a knock on anybody, but I don't see anyone else being able to bring these characters to life in the way that everyone who has auditioned is going to. So, and it's and what a good thing that it could be like a perfect birthday present for your dad whose birthday is in November because we film in
Yeah,
November.
yeah, I know. I know. I'm really excited to get moving on that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And honestly, everybody that you've put together, like just that Zoom meeting that we had to get to know each other, everyone seems really nice and really great. And I'm looking forward to working with all of them in person.
Oh yeah. So here's a question. Sometimes I ask, sometimes I don't. Is there a moment in your life to where you were like, acting is what you have to do, regardless of what it is?
I guess at this point, that's what I feel it is, but I totally got into it accidentally. I mean, like just happening to go to the audition, and then I went to a murder mystery dinner as a guest, and I begged them to make me a suspect, not knowing that that was the director of the troupe. And then I ended up like with a job at a murder mystery company as an actress through them. And so it's something now that I love it so much, and I feel like even my whole life, I really haven't felt like I've fit in exactly, and that I've like struggled to like try to fit in or change myself. But I feel like with the acting community, you don't have to do that. Like we're kind of an odd bunch, so to speak. And everyone's unique, but like it's not too much for anybody because we're all characters in our own way. And
Very true.
I really feel like I've found my place that I just never imagined I would find. And now it's something I'm like, yes, I want to keep acting. I want to keep doing things. And I'm just starting out here. So, I mean, I think for the fact that, I haven't even been going at this for 2 years yet, I'm doing pretty good for someone who has done it all like by themselves, trying to figure it out without any help. And I'm proud of myself for everything that I know I've earned because of that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the future will bring. It's each experience helps prepare you for another experience. And, this is something that, yeah, I want to continue to do.
Oh yeah. So how's your family feel? Because I don't want to go too much into your personal life because behind the camera that's your personal life. But how does
Yeah.
your family and your friends feel about you being in your first film and kind of like just going after your dreams?
I feel like a lot of people are really excited for me. I mean, even my mom, this definitely is not her genre at all. I can say that. And she's still very proud of me. She is so supportive. Like my dad's very supportive. Everybody is just because a lot of my good friends actually came to see the play and they thought I was phenomenal in it, which I'm really grateful for, to be supported at that level. I mean, I think it's not something everybody gets, and so it's a blessing that even if it isn't like their style, I'm sure pretty much everyone I know will at least try to watch it just because they do want to support me.
Oh yeah. Well, I can guarantee they'll be able to watch the first half, but that third act, if horror's not their thing, they're not gonna watch it. But now that's awesome because having a strong support system is what everyone really needs. And it's there comes a moment in everyone's life. It's happened with me. It's happened with everyone I know, and I'm sure it's happened with you to where you're like, yeah, they're with me, they support me, but only you can do what you can do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I, for one, I'm not going to speak for everybody with NC-17 because I don't know all of their opinions, but I, for one, am very glad that you did come back and auditioned because when you came back, one, that showed two things to me that stands out to me 100% determination. And then one thing that stands with me is character. It shows who you are, you know. And I'm grateful that you're a part of the show.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna be the type of person that, I would probably run myself into the ground just to be there for the people I care about. Because we all need support in this life, whether we realize it or not. We all need someone we can rely on. But, I mean, I really wanted this. I had wanted it the first time around. But, you also have to accept that like rejection is going to be possible as an actor.
It's
And
very true.
it's like when you reopen those auditions, I was like, I looked at it and I'm like, I got a better idea to go about it this time. I'm going to try something totally in the opposite direction because then they know that I can play it one way, the other way, or anything in between.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I normally take a moment out and kind of just praise whoever the guest is because you guys deserve it. So this is the moment I'm going to do that for you. In the conversations that we've had, including the group Zoom meeting that we had, one thing stands out to me more so than anything else. You're talented, you're a good person and everything like that, but you have strong morals, and I'm a person that if someone has strong morals, that tells me that their belief in themselves, regardless if it's nervous at first or strong at first, their belief in themselves shows to me that they're willing to go above and beyond to do what they can for not only just their family, but just the people around them. And my hat's off to you. I commend you and I respect you for that. So
Oh, thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to working with you too. It's the way I've seen you handle things just to make it good on set, like safe on set and stuff for the younger actors. I think that shows a lot about your character as well, because a lot of people may not have gone to I mean, the lengths that you have just to make sure that everyone knows, hey, we've got an underage actor on set and we're going to be appropriate at all times so that they can have a safe experience. Like that shows a lot about you too.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So let's play a little game. Word association.
Oh gosh, okay.
I say a word, first thing pops in your head. First word is always going to be family.
Um, for me, that is love.
No. All right. Horror.
Um, I don't know, feeling petrified.
That's a good analogy because yeah, that's a good analogy. All right, and third one, horses.
Oh, absolute endearment. I would use love again, but I already used that once. But I don't know if you know, but I do volunteer work at a horse therapy barn for people with physical and mental disabilities. And I just love it there. I mean, I'm definitely a little selfish because I love being with the horses. Like I've learned even through the tough times I've had recently that they show up for you 100% of the time. I'm like, people don't, but horses do.
Oh yeah. you know, the that's why I brought up the third word is horses because I do pay attention. We got a big cast. There's like 27 people, and we're still not done casting. I think we got like three or four more people that we're gonna announce, which those are surprises. But anyhow, I do pay attention to everybody's things that they do because that's how I keep up with the cast, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
And you always look like you're in a tranquil state whenever you're around the horses. Like you're just 100% at peace.
Yeah, well, it's actually really funny because a lot of people don't know this, but I learned this because of the barn itself. But as long as you're within 10 feet of a horse, like because their bubble's so big, the human equivalent would be like having your arm around a person. That's like just even being within 10 feet of a horse. And as long as you're within 10 feet of them, you still get their therapeutic benefits, even if you're not riding them. So it's like they really do take your stress I try to do what I can to take it back from them too, so they're not just taking all my stress and having to live with that. But it really is my Zen place is to just be with them at the barn. Right now, we're doing a program where little kids can read to the horses, and it is just the cutest way to spend an hour, let me tell you.
Uh, so what advice would you give to anyone? Granted that you're still brand new to this, well, at least the movie part of it. What advice would you give to anyone who's trying to get into the industry, whether it be movies, music, just whatever in general?
Just don't be afraid to try and keep trying. Like I said, there's going to be times you can't expect to get everything. You know, there are going to be things that you hit, things that you miss. It's all part of it, but not to be discouraged by it. It doesn't mean that you were bad. It just means that they wanted to go in a different direction. I mean, like you said, even like you weren't expecting my character to be the way that you ended up liking it. I mean, like you just never know what it's going to be, but it would be like take those risks, audition, make that music, like go out to a comedy club and do like, like on a night that anyone can do it. Like just try those things because the only way it's not going to work out is if you don't try. That's
Exactly.
absolutely 100% it's not going to work out. And I've learned that it's like you just got to take those risks and be open to failure because it also opens you up for success.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I do want to tell you something, and I'm not a stalker. I don't want nobody thinking I'm a stalker, but every person who's ever auditioned for this from beginning to where we are now, I kind of try to stay in touch with them or at least kind of keep up with, their activities just so I can be like, maybe something comes up and we need them.
Yeah.
So I saw that again, this is the determination you have that I saw is and your drive is after the first initial casting and you unfortunately at that point didn't get, the part, it didn't stop you. Like you continued, you know, and that is admirable. I finally said that word right. But to me, the determination and drive that people have gives me the determination and drive to make this better, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And because I'll say it 100%, this podcast, this movie, not about me. Yeah, I enjoy what I do, but this is about everybody else. So if I could be a stepping stone for you guys to get to the next level, hey, just don't step on my head. I'm good.
Yeah. No, we're all bringing each other up together to the next level. That's kind of the way I look at it because this is a starting thing for you too. So,
Oh yeah,
it's an opportunity for growth for all of us and for all of us to work together to make more things happen in the future for each other. I think that that's the way I look at it, at least. I mean, everyone has to start somewhere.
true.
I was thinking about that today. Like when you look at people's IMDb's, it's really rare that you even see someone in their first role have a name. For the most part, they are just an extra. And you look at like the first couple years in their filming, and it's all stuff that's like obscure, off the wall, like extra for this. Oh, person walking by the shop or something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah.
we all start somewhere. And this is a chance for all of us to start together.
Oh,
So,
yeah. So funny thing happened through this whole process so far. So I've interviewed a lot of people for the show, a lot of which are actually on the cast, but uh the I interviewed this one guy. He's a writer, director, editor, actor. His name's Kevin. I would mess up his Jerons. I'm not good with last names. If it's got four letters, I'm good. I'm not that stupid, but still.
once you
uh
go outside of Smith, it's just a loss.
exactly. But he's the creator of Creep Footage, and he's already got the first three out that are on YouTube. But he's doing a double feature for parts 4 and 5 on October. I mean, on Halloween actually. And in the interview I did with him, and that was a while ago. I mean, genuine dude, awesome guy. He comes up, well, not comes up, but he messaged me and said, "Hey, would you like a part in Creep Footage 4?" And I'm like, "Sure." I mean, my first acting in it. So, and he's like, "I'm gonna give you an IMDb credit." I was like, "My first shit, I'm getting a lot of first this year." So, but it's the genuine people such as yourself and just everyone involved with this cast at this point, and people like him, and just you guys are so genuine, and like there's I want this to be the best thing for everyone involved, and I hope to do right by you guys. So,
Well, I think you are. I mean, just the way things have gone with you, like recasting so that the right people end up and so that it's a good environment for everyone with people who care and people, who want to work together. Like you're doing everything you can to make it a good experience because you found the people who want to all work on this together to make it right. For you too.
oh yeah, there's a moment that my wife told me at the beginning of this, because originally this was a short story. Then I was like, well, we're gonna make it a feature film. Then I was like, dang, now we're gonna make it a trilogy. My wife goes, you got big dreams, and she's like, I don't watch the stuff, but I'll support you in any way I can. I was like, cool, you know. But one thing she said sticks out to me is she was like, just don't lose who you are, and who I am, where people see me here and people talk to me and stuff like that. That's who I am. I mean, yeah, we all have bad days, but this is who I am. So, yeah. And I am who I am because of people such as yourself, my family, just everyone I surround myself around. And I am so grateful. So,
Well, that's good. It's good that that's what you're feeling now because you should be feeling that and you should be feeling confident with like I mean especially because you are making this into a trilogy. Like, you want to have those good vibes from the beginning because that's what's going to carry through the whole thing.
oh, yeah.
Even for the people who unfortunately, God rest their futures characters' souls will not be making it through the trilogy.
There's quite a few of them. So, but it's, it really, what it really boils down to is it's like each character has their own, just like in every movie, every character has their own arc, but this group together is like I don't know. It's like they're a platoon in war getting ready to go to battle, and adding the new people, they're playing certain characters that I will not divulge that information yet. uh there's a big twist that happens in that third act that even when I was thinking about it, literally just the other day, I was thinking about it when I came up with it. I was like, this is going to be either epic or I'm going to be a really epic fail. So,
We'll go for epic.
oh yeah, yeah. But I do want to say that on July 12th, we will be filming a teaser trailer that we hope to have out by the end of July. And then we're gonna possibly, hopefully, sometime in September, film the full trailer.
Okay.
So because it's all about getting the eyes on the product, and everyone who's involved with this, from beginner to established, everyone involved with this will have, at least from my perspective, will have that arc to where they're satisfied, because everyone gets some more than others get a hero moment. So, you know, but I do want to say, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm a talker, so I think I bring it out in other people too. It's
Oh yeah. I do want to say though that without Amanda Howell being by my side from the beginning of this, I talked to her, and ran the idea by her. There was we wouldn't be where we are today. So I just want to give her, her credit because she deserves it, even though, like at times in the beginning things weren't always the best. I mean, things were always good with me and her, but things just weren't always the best. I think if anybody knows, they know.
Yeah. And she does, I mean, she seems to have done a great job because even I remember the first set of auditions I got in, I was having a lot of trouble with like the Google Drive thing. And then I sent everything to her and she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, it's locked." I'm like, "Oh, no, 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 I'm the one who feels bad. Like, I did not realize that." So, I mean, she's definitely like, she was always a good communicator and she seems like a very great person. I'm really looking forward to working with her, not just as an actor in the movie, but even with what she is doing behind the scenes.
uh, you know, uh, Funny story. So Rusty, this is how my mind works. Rusty was supposed to have been a male character.
Yes, I remember. That's what I thought you were going for originally.
Yeah.
Or that's what it seemed like in the little character bios that you had put out when you had the auditions.
Oh yeah. Uh, but unfortunately, because of conflicting schedules, the person who was cast as Rusty, uh, who's actually back on the cast now, remarkable. I mean, that's Luke Carmel. That dude is awesome. But I was like, you know what, Amanda? Why don't you just play Rusty? She's like, a stoner chick. I'm in. I was like, that. If that's all I had to say, okay. Yeah, but
I think she's gonna do a good job and have fun with that one.
yeah.
It's the people who get to play the stoners, I think they're just gonna have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, especially Brian Reif. That dude is all over everyone. I mean, he's an awesome guy. Like my hats off to everybody in this cast, on this cast, because y'all bring a different vibe, and everyone brings their own style to this, and it's awesome. You know, so we're kind of coming to the end of the show, but I do want to give you a moment to plug your socials if you want people reaching out to you or not. That's entirely up to you. But also just kind of give a message to the fans, your family, your friends, and just any kind of message you want to give to anybody.
All right. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't really have anything that's like actor official. So, both on Instagram and for my Facebook, I go by Cara Spariosu. Good luck spelling that and finding it.
One you, not three.
Um, and just to my family and my friends, it's thank you for being there with me every step of the way through every crazy thing I've been through. I had a head injury about a decade ago that took a lot from me, and I've had to work really hard to come back from. And it emptied a lot of people out of my life, but the ones who stayed have really been like, I mean, they're the ones that I always can count on. I know that they're going to be with me through thick and thin because, you already got that in sickness and health and for richer or poorer, even if it's just a friendship or family. Like, I just, want to thank everybody because I am very blessed to have so many good people in my life. So thank you, all of you.
uh, I I do want to give. I mean, it's up to you if you want to go a little bit in because I didn't know. I learned something new every episode. I did not know that you had an injury back a while ago. Did you want to go a little bit into that or no?
Sure, yeah. It's something I don't mind talking about because it really invades every aspect of my life, even to today. I was in college when it happened, and it's like the stupidest thing ever. I had one of those like big L-shaped desks, and I dropped something underneath it while I was studying, and I just stood up right into the desk. I
Mm.
don't really remember like anything after that until I remember coming to on the other side of the room. And I was in a lot of pain, but I was taking ancient Greek, the language at the time, which is a very complex language to learn if you don't know. There's like over 140 ways to spell a verb, every verb.
Wow.
And it was the type of thing that I was like, nope, I can't miss a day. So I waited about 2 weeks to go to the hospital. And in that time, like my grades had gone from A's to C's. My memory loss was really bad. I had severe migraines. I mean, it was pretty bad. By the time I got put on bed rest, I couldn't even remember my own birthday. And it took me about 2 years to even um like consistently remember that people had birthdays and that I had one that came every year. So, I mean, at my worst, I could remember my family and a few people, but I had to get all of that back. Some of it never came back. It left me with post-concussion syndrome, which is permanent concussion symptoms. It took about 3 or 4 years to diagnose that.
Mm.
And they can only like treat that the first year. So after the first year, you just have to live with it forever. And I also developed like some chemical sensitivities in that time. So I'm careful with like everything that I use. I have to be pretty careful with like the products that I use. I've gotten a lot better than I was, but it's something that I always try to bring awareness to. I actually had a blog about it for a while, like living with chemical sensitivities and like just like life when you're dealing with constant health issues. But it's something that, I mean, I part of me wishes I did not have to go through it because of how much of my life it has become a part of. But
Yeah.
I'm also grateful for it because I kind of like lost everything and everything that I got back. I just feel it's like I worked for it. I worked hard for it. I really had to like pull my health together to take care of my dad when he started having health issues. But I just feel like everything in my life is very rich just because of all the work it has taken and the cost that it came at. And I mean, even like, I've tried to find the fun in it. There's been a lot of suffering, but like after my head injury, when I couldn't remember much, I got to like experience so many things for the first time, like trying foods because you don't remember if you like them or not. So there's like foods that I now know that I liked before the head injury that I don't like after the head injury and vice versa. And like it kind of gave me a chance to like build up who I wanted to be from a blank slate because that's essentially where I was.
Yeah. Uh, uh, one, you're a fighter, you're a soldier, and that's commendable. So, and then two, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I
Yes.
know that's cliche, but still,
But
you
it
know.
is true. There are times that you're like, I wish it would have killed me because I got tired of being made stronger. But but we're all here for a reason. And I look at like my mom's recent stroke and my dad a couple of summers ago, and it's like if I wasn't here, like I helped save both my parents, so they wouldn't be here if I wasn't here. I think about like the things that do happen because you're still here to fight another day. If you look at it, like just even being kind to someone who's having a hard day, like you don't know how that's going to affect their future. And I think that that's why some of us do continue to fight on, even when we feel we don't want to, is so that we can be there to help steer someone's life, change it, shape it in a positive way.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I agree. You know, that speaks volumes on who you are because you went through something that changed your life forever.
Yes.
And once you got your footing back and you were able to start doing the things you do and just kind of you had to recreate yourself.
Yeah, completely.
And how many people can say that they've lived two different lives in one life? You know what I'm saying? And for who you are, this version of you, for who you are, you're an awesome person. And
Well, thank you.
you're welcome. I didn't know you then, so I can't say, but I'm pretty sure you were awesome then too.
I don't know. There might have been a few teenage years that I was a bit of a jerk, but you know, what teenager isn't?
That's very true. But I do want to say that you are part of the NC-17 family now and forever, and future projects, whether it be this trilogy or just anything else, you know, whether it be in front of the screen or behind the camera. If you always want to work with us, you're more than welcome to.
No, I appreciate that. It's a really great feeling to even just have that, you know, to be building that type of relationship that we all are together, like you said, as a family.
Oh yeah, you know. This empire has just started, but this empire is not going to stop anytime soon, at least as long as I'm around, and I plan on being around for a while. So, you know, but
Well, I'm looking forward to the future things we create together then.
oh yeah, you know, I do want to say before we go that you have been a superb guest. It was an honor getting to know you on a one-on-one basis, and kind of that's why these interviews for Not There is actually happening. So then, not only the audience but me, I can get to know you guys a little bit better too. And I feel genuinely through this interview that we've expanded a lifespan of stuff you've been through, stuff that you've accomplished, and where your future seems to be heading. And it's all good things. And
Thank
you're an awesome
you.
person. So uh before we go, anything else you would like to say or anything at all?
Nope, I can't think of anything. Just like I said, really looking forward to when we get to filming and all of us really just getting to know each other in person. And I
Oh
think it's
yeah.
going to be a good time for all of us.
Oh yeah. All right. I normally end every episode with saying everyone stay in C-17, but I'm going to change it up. I've been changing it up a lot lately. But before I do that, like I said, you've been an all-star, a rock star, every kind of star except for a falling star. You know, it's so corny. My wife was like, "You need to start saying something." So now I'm going to catchphrase "falling star," but whatever. I'm going to change up the closing. So when life happens to not go your way, make it go your way. Don't stop. Charge forward, and always succeed in your own life because only you can be the creator and the dictator of your life. So that's what I got. Corny as hell, but you know.
No, it's very true. It's up to us to how we create and destroy our lives. Like we really are we are in charge of our fates. Like things happen out of your control, but it's up to you to really make the best of it and try to move on without it, you know, destroying who you are as a person. So,
uh, I couldn't have said it any better. So I'm going to say, everyone, have a good night.
bye.
Bye bye.